It was supposed to be just another quiet Friday in Fordyce, Arkansas, a sleepy southern town of fewer than 3,500 souls. A place where nothing truly bad ever happens. But by noon on June 21, 2024, the town was gripped by a terror that felt straight out of a war zone. Gunshots ripped through the air. Blood stained the aisles. And a mystery was born, one that still has no satisfying end. This is the story of the Fordyce Supermarket Mass Shooting, and the secrets no one's willing to talk about. Fordyce, Arkansas. Blink and you'd miss it. A place where the gas station attendant still greets you by name, and the post office closes early on Fridays. The local Mad Butcher grocery store had been a community staple for over 40 years. It was more than a store, it was the town's unofficial town square. On the morning of June 21, 2024, the summer sun had just begun to bear down hard. Inside the Mad Butcher, the air conditioning buzzed. Elderly shoppers strolled the aisles slowly. Parents wrangled toddlers with sticky hands. Teenagers bagged groceries for tips. Security cameras rolled. Quiet, unremarkable, everyday life. Until it wasn't. Surveillance footage shows a silver Dodge Ram pull up to the front. The driver, Travis Posey, 44 years old, steps out in broad daylight. Sunglasses. A black shirt. Jeans. He's holding something wrapped in a towel. Employees later said he looked calm. Too calm. Like a man who had already made peace with the darkness ahead. At 11:38 a.m., Posey walked past checkout lane number 3. Without a word, he removed the towel and revealed an AR-15 style rifle. What happened next was pure carnage. Witnesses say he began firing indiscriminately, spraying bullets across the store. Screams echoed. Glass shattered. Produce exploded. Blood slicked the white tiles. Within 2 minutes, 4 people lay dead. At least 10 more were injured, some critically. One elderly woman collapsed behind the cereal aisle, clutching her bleeding chest. A young boy was dragged out by his terrified mother, his legs soaked in blood that wasn't his. The town's illusion of peace, gone in 120 seconds. Who was Travis Posey? On paper, just another working-class Arkansan. Lived nearby. Worked construction. Married. Known at the bar, quiet at church. No prior criminal record. But dig deeper, and the cracks begin to show. Neighbors recalled strange behavior in the months prior. Sudden outbursts. Arguments with imaginary people. The smell of alcohol seeping from the walls. A whisper of a domestic violence callback in 2021, never confirmed. And then, the bizarre part, a week before the shooting, Posey had allegedly been fired from a local contracting job. Rumors swirled that he had accused the supermarket manager of setting him up. Investigators would later find journals in Posey's home. Frantic, disjointed writing. Paranoid delusions. Mentions of being followed, watched, and even poisoned. The words, "You'll see what justice looks like," circled in red ink. Mental illness? Maybe. But others say there's more to this story. Official body cam footage from responding officers showed the standoff lasted over 20 minutes. Posey had moved to the pharmacy section, using the counters for cover. Then came the unconfirmed eyewitness account that changed the tone of the investigation. A man named Elias McBride, a 58-year-old former Army MP, claims he saw another man inside the store, also armed. It wasn't just Posey. "I swear on my daughter's grave. There was someone else. Military haircut. Tactical vest. But he didn't shoot. He was moving fast, like he was searching for someone." Police denied this. One shooter. One arrest, they said. But what if McBride wasn't wrong? A grainy security still, leaked weeks later, seemed to show a second figure slipping behind the deli at 11:39 a.m., seconds after Posey entered. That figure was never identified. Never acknowledged. Was it an accomplice? A plainclothes officer? A hallucination? The official report never mentions it. Now here's where it gets murky. The supermarket security system had a cloud-based backup. But strangely, footage from 11:39 to 11:51 a.m. was missing. Corrupted. Or so they claimed. The store manager, Linda Harrow, was known to have had disputes with Posey months before the shooting. Something about backroom agreements, though no one ever confirmed what that meant. A few staff members were let go quietly right after the incident. No press, no statement. Then came the whistleblower. An anonymous tipster, calling into a Little Rock radio station, claimed the shooter was part of something bigger, suggesting a black market pharmaceutical ring operating out of the Mad Butcher's back pharmacy. The tipster accused certain employees of laundering fake prescriptions and claimed Posey knew too much. The FBI never commented. But the DEA quietly arrived in Fordyce days later. Not for the shooting, for a pharmaceutical compliance audit. Coincidence? At 12:04 p.m., Posey surrendered outside the store. No shootout. No suicide by cop. Just dropped his weapon and knelt. Silent. He was taken into custody, but refused to speak. Not to investigators. Not to his own wife. Not even to his lawyer. He was charged with 4 counts of capital murder, 10 counts of attempted murder, and numerous firearms violations. But when it came time for the trial, Posey never stood in court. In August 2024, he was found unresponsive in his jail cell. Authorities ruled it a suicide. Hanging. With a bedsheet. But the autopsy was sealed. His family, blocked from viewing the body. And not a single press outlet was allowed to attend the closed-door inquest. The town buried its dead. Quietly. Swiftly. No public memorial. No national outcry. The story faded from the headlines within a week, overtaken by election noise, celebrity scandals, and social media churn. But locals still talk. They whisper about the unmarked van that arrived the night of the shooting and sat outside the store until dawn. They whisper about the young pharmacist who moved states days after testifying and hasn't been heard from since. They whisper about the 2 detectives reassigned after they allegedly pushed too hard for access to the missing security footage. And they whisper about Elias McBride, the man who saw too much, who died in a house fire 2 months later. Cause undetermined. Theory 1, Posey acted alone. Mental breakdown. Psychosis. No planning, no conspiracy. Theory 2, Posey was a fall guy. A pawn. The shooting was cover for a bigger operation, and he was silenced. Theory 3, someone inside the Mad Butcher triggered the rampage, intentionally or not. The inside job theory. Theory 4, a government test gone wrong. Shadow ops using small towns as behavioral experiments. Wild? Maybe. But people are asking questions. The truth? Still locked behind closed doors. In a town like Fordyce, you'd think tragedy would leave a scar. But the shelves were restocked. The glass was replaced. The blood was washed away. And silence moved in where justice should have lived. 4 people lost their lives that day. And maybe more lost their voices trying to find the truth. Was it madness, or a message? You decide. If you know something about the Fordyce shooting that hasn't been shared, or if you're from Fordyce and have insight, we want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Like, share, and subscribe for more unsolved crimes, inside jobs, and the dark corners of the American truth machine. Turn on notifications, because next week, We're digging into the case of the missing twins from Tannersville, Pennsylvania. A foster home, a falsified report, and a GPS signal that disappeared into thin air.